one of the main purposes of this whole Antifa meeting was to have some of these right-wing influencers and fake journalists and people that have been pushing this narrative, honestly, for a few years now. And they're finally been given some access to push these narratives. One of those folks, her name is Katie Davis Court.
I'm an investigative journalist from Seattle. I work for the Post Millennial alongside Andy No and Jack Posobiec. I have been infiltrating Antifa cells in Seattle and Portland for the past decade. I know their inner workings, and Antifa uses extreme political violence to crush the civil rights of their political enemies and believes that violence is justified by any means necessary. But today, I want to focus on what is happening in Portland at the ICE facility. I've been covering this for the past 4 months, and this is a call out to corporate media who has completely ignored this story or has falsely reported on it. This is nothing short other than a sustained attack on the United States, which is being supported by Democratic elected officials. The Portland Police Bureau has completely abandoned several blocks outside the ICE facility, giving away their jurisdiction to a terrorist group who has spent the past 4 months harassing, assaulting, and intimidating anyone they perceive to be against their cause. Not only have federal agents been relentlessly assaulted for more than 100 consecutive days, black-clad anarchist militants concealing their identities behind black facial coverings have been assaulting reporters just for trying to cover their crimes. Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion after being violently hit in the face with a metal pole while reporting outside the ICE facility just this past week. After the attack, I immediately went to three Portland police officers who refused to detain the suspect. I took the time to chase down the suspect in the streets, had her held for 35 minutes. I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came.
Katie Davis Court was there to push a bunch of propaganda. Katie Davis Court has been infiltrating Antifa for a decade. And as she was out in the streets, she caught a black eye. The police, again, I want you guys to see this narrative that continues. It's not just the people in the streets. It's local police for each of these cities that refuses to comply with and assist them in their hostilities towards citizens of that city. It's like they're kind of doing their job. So when this federal army of ragtag Proud Boys or whoever else that he compiled to put together to come in these cities comes and gets to attacking and fights break out, it always has to be those local police problems who wouldn't answer her calls. That's her explanation for what's going on. And these police are totally not on her side. Here's the back end of her explanation on that.
I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came. Then that's what opened to my eyes to what this group is actually doing. I watched 20 Antifa militants help my assault suspect escape into an Antifa safe house that is 1 block away from the ICE facility. And this safe house is where Antifa-affiliated protesters are conducting paramilitary operations. It's where they're arresting, they're showering, they're eating to continue this occupation. I have staked out this safe house and have observed shift changes. This group is highly organized. It is being funded through mutual aid groups, and they have no plans of stopping. Residents living across the ICE facility have been held hostage by Antifa. They're begging for federal intervention. The city refuses to help, and they want you, President Trump, to come in and restore law and order.
Weird how she's suddenly speaking for an entire city, but based off of the conflicts that she's getting into consistently. She couldn't even finish reading her list correctly. She was thinking it was like parliamentary. She's like, paramilitary. That's what they wrote down for me to say. But for some reason, she's been staking out this safe house. They're showering there. They're eating there. They're hanging out. Man, they're playing board games, bro. They're just having fun and hanging out. And every once in a while, they step out and start assaulting regular citizens, and ICE agents. Let me show you how serious and upset Katie Davis Court is. This is some of the posts that she put up. Oh, look, she said, what an honor getting invited to the White House to brief President Trump on Antifa with an exclamation point. Antifa, it's so funny. Maybe I'll get invited. It'll be fun. It's fun times to talk about Antifa and how you almost died, right? They're so serious, except it almost looks like they're at like a prom. Here's more of the post. She had a full photo album put out She was squad, and she mentioned Andy No and Jack Posobiec because they're just hanging out at the White House having tons of fun. It's such a serious subject. They also had a perspective shot that she took where she's sitting in front of this murderer's row of fascists in this administration. They're very proud to be in this position to try and influence policy to kill Americans and create more division so they could have their white supremacist takeover that they've always dreamed of, the things that they think are supposed to be running this country. I want you guys to see this, one of these other folks outside of Katie Davis Court. His name is Jonathan Cho. It's weird how they always go for the least powerful and the most vulnerable people in the country. Listen to this guy's pitch.
I cover far-left extremism as well as the homeless drug crisis in America. And I find it oftentimes those worlds intersect. And hot off the presses, what I wanted to bring to your attention today is a report from a Capital Research Center here in D.C. in conjunction with Discovery Institute. They just put out this study right now. And what it shows is that Antifa is heavily embedded in the homeless and housing nonprofit sector. In many cases, the homeless industrial complex is running cover for Antifa. Antifa is benefiting from American tax dollars, and they're essentially being used as the muscle. Let me give you an example. There's a group called Stop the Sweeps in many U.S. cities right now. They get in front of encampment sweeps. What they're doing quietly is they're bringing in Antifa militants to manufacture a crisis to make the police look bad. Another group right now that is behind Antifa and working with Antifa very closely, based on the research that we have right now that we're going to give to you and your team, are the Democratic Socialists of America, also known as DSA. Again, these far-left progressive groups tend to be aligning themselves with Antifa. So finally, in closing, what I wanted to thank you again, Mr. President, is that a few months ago, earlier this year, you put out an executive order on homelessness and the drug addiction crisis in America, and that's sent the entire homeless industrial complex on the run. You have absolutely moved the needle and changed the game. But what's also come out, again, is that there is a connection, a deeply embedded connection with the homeless housing nonprofit game in America, connected to Antifa and the far-left activists. And finally, I just wanted to say that all of our resources at Turning Point USA and Discovery Institute are at your disposal, and we will continue, again, to carry on the legacy of Charlie Kirk. He would have wanted us to pursue and chase the story.
All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is listen. Suddenly the homeless have teamed up with Antifa. Antifa is the muscle. And this, the homeless industrial complex. Nothing about, there's no military industrial complex. There's no folks that are making money off of incarcerating people. There's no private prison industrial complex. None of those things exist. There's the homeless industrial complex, partnering up with a bunch of the nonprofit sector that's looking to protect the most vulnerable people, unhoused folks that have been the victims of our system, our rabid capitalistic society since forever. Many of which include veterans who get screwed over after they serve this country that we've already seen them not give a damn about. Maybe this is the reason why Brian Kilmeade didn't get fired or even reprimanded over announcing and promoting and asking for someone to kill some homeless folks. That is, right before someone decided to go try and kill some homeless folks.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right.
But this guy wants to talk about how there's a homeless drug crisis with no indication as to why folks are on drugs, why folks become homeless. We just have to kill them. And this is what it partners up with. Anybody who tries to block or stop the things like Donald Trump's orders to go and sweep homeless encampments up because, they're trying to kill everyone, that they're suddenly Antifa too. Nonprofit organizations, people who care about these folks, who are trying to do something to change our country for the better, are terrorists. That's what that guy's there for. That's what that other woman, Davis Court, is there for.
They're all Antifa now. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, before the Trump assassination attempts and the killing of Charlie Kirk, before ICE facilities were under siege in L.A. and agents pinned down in Chicago, political violence seemed limited.
There's the message. They're all Antifa now. She couldn't even say it because she's reading the prompt of what someone fed to her to talk about to push her daily propaganda of Donald Trump's fascism. They're all Antifa. Who is the they? They is anybody that they want they to be. That's why they're doing all this.